So we've got this shoulder mount here. It's a wall pedestal that comes from McKinsey. A lot of other companies sell wall pedestals. On the back of the pedestal, everybody does something a little bit different. Some people will do paper mache and build something on there. Some people just use the hide like this one is now. I actually use a faux leather. It's got a little bit of a stretch to it so you can keep the wrinkles out of it. I actually purchased this at Hobby Lobby. Comes in yards. You can buy it however many yards you need. Whenever you put it on there, I always make sure that the stretch, it doesn't stretch this way as much as it does this way. So when you line that out, make sure that you take that into consideration. Now, when you do the leather, people do it a lot different than I do. A lot of people will actually groove around the form and tuck the hide in there. I don't prefer that method. I just don't like the way it does. So what I'll do is go ahead and tuck the skin on the back. I'll staple it. And then once I get done, I'll come in with this leather. I'll put this over. You'll need a glue gun. You'll also need a staple gun. Same staple gun that I staple my deer up with is what I use. I will use a little bit longer staples so that it's going through the hide and trying to get into the form as well. But I'll just lay this out. I'll start. Make sure you don't have anything like here. We've got a little piece sticking up. I'll cut that off. But we'll just lay this out. We'll come right inside. Pay attention to where your staples are. When I do a pedestal, I try and inset my staples a little bit. So whenever I come back with the leather and staple it, then I can get on that edge and you'll never have any staples showing there. But for this one, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it off the stand, go ahead and staple it on this back first for the video since that's gonna be on the ground. Go ahead and get this stapled all the way over. This is plywood here, and this is just part of the form. So I'm gonna go ahead and staple this. I'll put it back on the stand and then work on this part, and I'll show you how I do that. And then when I get done, I've got this fabric border that I use. I used to get this at Hobby Lobby. They've been sold out for the last couple of years whenever I go. So I got this on Amazon. It just comes in a big roll of it, and then I'll put that over top the staples, run a bead of hot glue around, push this down on top of it. That covers up where your staples were. It's a good clean finish, works great. I love it. It's a lot easier than the other methods for me. Some people don't like the way I do it, but this is just my way. I'll lay this over, get it where it covers everything, and then go ahead and just staple around that edge. Try and keep it tight, try and keep it working around. And then once I pull that across, that'll keep it tight. Go ahead and take a hammer and drive those staples the rest of the way in. Now I can pull that tight and go ahead and put the platform to the stand back on there so I can get it on the platform and on the stand and make it a little easier to show you how to do this. All right, so I got that part put on the back here, and now we're just gonna go ahead and pull this across. We'll pull it tight. One other thing that you can do, there is quilt batting that you can put under here if you want to give that some fluff, if you want to raise it up. I normally just pull it straight across. I don't really care for that to be built out any, but it's something you can do. And Hobby Lobby also sells that if you need to get it. Now that I've got that, I come back with a razor blade or a sharp knife, anything where it'll cut it really even, smooth. I'll go right down the edge of those staples. If you hit those staples, it'll dull this blade really easy. So I try and stay just on the outside of those staples, go all the way across. And I try not to go down where I'm cutting the hairs. I just try and pull that leather up as I'm cutting. So there you've got all that done out. Now I'll come in with this border, and I've already burnt the end of that border so that it doesn't fray on me. I'll come right on the back side here. I'll put 2 staples in it there, and then I'll start with the hot glue, and I'll go all the way around, come all the way back around. When I get to here, I'll cut this, burn it with a lighter, lay it down on top of that, drop a staple, and we'll be good to go. And so now I've reached that end point here where I stapled it. I'll go ahead and cut that off just a little bit long. I'll take a lighter and just burn that in, just so that that doesn't try and fray. And then I'll take a little bit of hot glue and run over top of where I put those staples to start it at. And then just lay that down on top. And that gives you a good clean border all the way around. You got the fabric on the back, everything's good to go.